So the virtue of standing up for your police, very important. We want to make sure that these officers, they're human beings. They are not the immortal warrior gods that we wish they were. They're not always out there for our interests. Sometimes they go into the job with a strong ego that's out of their control, and that causes a lot of resentment on the job. But the job is supposed to be there to preserve peace and safety. And if we can keep in mind and keep an expectation that that is how it's supposed to be, then we start feeling a little bit less under attack by police, especially when we're the recipients of tickets and violations and shit like that. And then it's good. Let's turn the whole block blue.
And speaking of police, here's an article with a little more levity than the previous. We've got Bay Area Police Department's Tesla battery runs low on juice during high-speed chase.
That is hilarious.
So evidently a officer in Fremont, California was driving his department's Tesla last week.
They're rocking an S?
It does not say what model the Tesla was.
It's probably
just
3.
that it was a Tesla. And he was in a high-speed chase when all of a sudden the battery indicator showed that the vehicle was running low on battery. So he contacts his dispatch and says he's down to only 6 miles of battery left on the Tesla and requested backup.
That is hilarious. You know who this wouldn't happen to?
Somebody driving a vehicle with gas?
Obviously, yeah. Yeah, Kit from Knight Rider. Kit from Knight Rider. Hasselhoff would put that bastard into super turbo pursuit mode. I can't remember. And he would have gotten in front of him. Yeah, these Teslas are gorgeous cars. You get a lot of bang for your buck. Another one of my guilty palate cleansing video content pleasures is Doug DeMuro. He does those great car review videos, make you experience what it feels like. Anyway, he's a fan of Tesla, and he qualitatively breaks it down what you get from the vehicle for your money. And a Tesla has a great range, best range, like top above 80th percentile of the market.
But none of that's going to matter if you forget to charge it.
Nope. Ironically, I view this kind of validates a sense of how I feel about things, like what tiny homes are, what climate change is, and also as it pertains to fuel economy, the fuel economy in general, the petro economy. Gasoline equals freedom. And in the case of this perpetrator, it actually meant freedom.
It literally did,
Yeah.
but not necessarily because of the Tesla, although that probably slowed down police's ability to respond to it.
It was a busy day.
They ended up sending backup officers who pursued him, and he got away because he was driving unsafe.
Go back into the vehicle's analytics. I would bet a significant amount of money that a lot of the lithium ion potential energy was lost to air conditioning in that Tesla. That cop was wrapped up in polyester, sweating balls for like 6 hours, had the thing on full, and then boom, he is in hot pursuit.
Literally hot.
Hot pursuit. And then all of a sudden, like, he runs out of, well, not gas, but he runs out of something. That is freaking bananas. No. Gasoline equals freedom. For those of you who know anything about fuel stabilizer, if you own a boat or a motorcycle or just have a car that you don't drive very often, you know that you need to put in a fuel additive, a stabilizer like Stable, because fuel these days oxidizes in less than 6 months. There's a time when gasoline would last for like a year before you had to even think about putting in a stabilizer. But now you take your motorcycle to the dealership to get some work on, they'll look inside your tank and say, you've got old gas in there. And you only put some gas in there like a few months ago. That's kind of sad because gasoline is a part of an ecosystem that puts carbon into the air, that falls down to the ground. And if we're able to reclaim it through things like, what is it? God, I can't think of it. It's moss. No, not moss. It's algae-based. They have these algae-based petroleum reclamation systems that they want to build next to cement plants because they produce so much CO2. Interesting fact, concrete is the second most used consumer product in the world. Of course, we pave everything. But they want to be able to start deriving petroleum and including some sort of a gasoline-like substitute from algae, which I think would be great. I think the technology isn't there because we don't have the volume. But if we could do that, then we would just be putting the carbon that we get from normal development from the atmosphere, sticking it into the algae, and then when we burn the algae, we're now in a stable cycle of expenditure and reclamation. But obviously, a Tesla is such a sexy car. Makes you look like a .com executive. And if you're a police officer, I'm sure he felt really cool right up to the moment his go-kart turned into a 1-ton paperweight.
Into a no-kart.
Super slick. You hear that, Officer Fremont?
I have a funny joke every once in a while.
Yes. Oh, man. Yeah. So that's unfortunate. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you fork over $100K on a car, make sure to keep that puppy, plugged in. Yeah, charged. Especially if you're in a hot pursuit. I wonder what kind of car it was. I mean, was it like some Subaru WRX, or was it a Toyota Corolla?
I don't recall seeing what kind of car the suspect was driving.
This kind of also reminds me of something that I want to touch on. I sometimes fantasize of creating a news outlet that merely provides absolute data in paragraph form, where all you have is no kind of what I think happened or how I feel about this happening. Just pure like perpetrator A, born this person, this race, this height, this age, was driving this car versus this officer, who was driving a Tesla Model S in ludicrous mode.
Unfortunately, the police don't always give out all of those details.
No, they don't. That's unfortunate as well. But I think that you just leave the gaps open, just like, we don't know the race of this person, but it is important. Or, we don't know how much taller this man was next in front of this woman. Because if we're dealing with like a 5'2" guy and,
6 foot tall woman.
A 6 foot tall woman, I want to know. And I want to know, why that little man's kneecaps got broken. Oh, yeah, he's 5'2". So this is interesting. So there's plenty of details of this police officer in pursuit bungling the job thanks to some virtue signaling. Fremont City Council. Oh, you know what we're going to do? We're definitely going to get some PC ecology points for driving Teslas.
Got to support Tesla that's manufactured in Fremont.
Is it Fremont? And
It
San
is.
Jose, right?
It's in Fremont, yeah.
Interesting. I know that I drive past their, what do you call it, manufacturing.
Yeah, the manufacturing plant.
Yeah. I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast. They say they've got this shop right down the road from Tesla that'll actually put in the luxury items in the Tesla. They'll tear it down. You get it brand new. First thing that happens in its life is tear it down. And then put in all these luxury, seats and nice. Anyway, I digress. So that is going to be our show. Thank you so much for joining us. So the basically the concept is how we're feeling, things that bug us, stuff like that, and then we'll hit some current events items. Maybe we'll give our impressions of movies that we saw, shows. Right now, I'm going down nostalgia lane with Kat here watching The Boys. Girl is, she on one hand she's a savant of culture, American culture, pop culture, and then all of a sudden it's like she knows nothing.
It seems like I've been living under a rock.
Yeah. I, on the other hand, have always been I'm just your regular American expert on science fiction, fantasy, and all that stuff. And I feel really sad that I know everything there is to know about the artificial history of canonical and extended universe Star Wars, but I don't know how to speak Arabic. That's the real problem. Zuckerberg goes and speaks perfect Mandarin, and I'm here and I know the difference between, well, nothing comes to mind right now because I'm trying to be all fancy, but never mind. The point is, hopefully this sort of chopped up form of 15-minute increment episodes isn't too stymieing for you. we are going to hopefully get verified and just do long form videos. Once or twice a week, you'll find me doing some videos on my own on this channel, and hopefully we'll get a lot of people feeling comfortable, enjoying our presence, our voices. And once again, I haven't come up with a sign-off line, but provisionally, just know that if you're a good person, honest American, and you know what an American is, then we are your people.
And if there's anything that you find interesting and want us to discuss, let us know in the comments.
That's right. Very, very apt in those comment sections. Yeah, so I guess that'll be it for our first episode. And thank you, God bless, and have yourself a great one.